And a great big thank you to you all for once again tuning in to watch me on the sports show. I've got a friend of the show here with me in the studio today, and we're talking about a very, very important subject and also a feat which is quite unique. I've got Rashid Ali here with me in the studio. Thank you for joining us today.
Afternoon, Imdad Bhai, and thank you for having me here.
And we're going to talk about a unique and splendid journey that you're taking part in very soon
That's right.
this year. Um, Obviously, you're an enthusiastic cyclist. How long have you been cycling for?
It's actually 3 years, March this year, so it's been 3 years.
So, in terms of cyclists, you're actually still quite a novice.
Yes, I am actually.
I would put you down as being in your early 20s. So, that, okay, let's say early 40s to mid 40s. So, you did start cycling quite late in life.
I did.
Okay. How did you develop an interest in this?
I used to be a runner, so I used to do a lot of running, long distance running. So I had the fitness and the stamina, so that was one of the advantage. But back in 2014, a few brothers organised a charity ride from Cambridge to London, and they came to me and said, "Look, why don't you try this cycling challenge?" So me being me, I like a challenge. So I said, "All right, let's do this," and we did that, and I loved it. We set off at midnight and we got back to East London about 5 in the morning, and it was a beautiful ride. The scenery, although it's dark, the friendship and the brotherhood between all the people participate was really exciting. I enjoyed it, and that was it. I thought, this is a good way of staying fit, and at my age, running is starting to get to the old knees, so cycling's a bit more easier, friendly for the knees. And that's
Me being 10 years younger than you, I can't say I sympathise much anyway, but well done on that one. What I'm intrigued about is a journey that you've been planning now for the best part of a year,
Yeah.
and something I've taken a great interest in since you've mentioned. Now, 2017 Hajj, for the benefit of the viewers who don't know, is the fifth pillar of Islam, where Muslims, in a nutshell, for Muslims from all over the world, from all races, backgrounds, cultures, nationalities, visit the holy cities of Mecca and Medina in Saudi Arabia once a year to carry out an annual pilgrimage. This takes place once a year and is for anybody who is capable of doing so. They must visit the Holy Lands and perform this pilgrimage. Rashid will be undertaking a unique journey. Now, you are going to cycle from London to Mecca or Medina.
Yes, that's the intention, to cycle all the way. So
How did you come up with this idea?
what it was, first when I believe it or not, I didn't do much sports in life when I was younger, and again my sports.
You can tell. You can tell. Yeah.
It started from my late 30s. I again attended a charity run, 5 kilometer run, and there was 600 people participated. I came second, and I won a ticket to Umrah. As you know, Umrah is a small version of the Hajj. And I was astonished that I came to this run for a charity, and I didn't know I had the ability to run that fast, and that kind of distance. And so I thought to myself, when I was doing that Cambridge ride, I thought to myself, last time I went to this holy land, and it was a kind of invitation for me, because I went for a charity run and I won this race, and then I found out my ability, and then I took running on seriously. So how can I do the Hajj that makes it a bit more special than, the Umrah? Because Hajj is more bigger, and how can I make it more special? Then I thought, hold on, I'm sitting on a bike here, I'm cycling from London to Cambridge to London. What if I can train and cycle to Hajj, to Saudi Arabia? And that's where the idea was born. And then I started thinking and getting ideas, understanding bikes, going a bit more bike riding.
Is this your first Hajj pilgrimage?
Yes.
So it's actually your very first?
Yes. The
Amazing.
Umrah was my first as well. Before that time I won that race, I'd never been there before. So when they announced my names, I literally started going on my knees, and I was in tears that, I've come to this race and I've beat 600 people, and here I am. I've got a free ticket to go and visit the Holy Land.
Amazing. So how have you been preparing for this? This is obviously the biggest challenge of your cycling life. Obviously, we've talked about you having a deprived life,
Yeah.
but you started 3 years ago
Yeah.
as a cyclist. You've been training quite vigorously, from what I can see,
Yeah.
having spent time with you on a charitable excursion as well. What exactly does it entail when it comes to training and preparing yourself?
Actually, I mean, with the training, the amount of training I do is not actually enough for the challenge I'm up for, because I'm want to be, I need to be cycling 150 kilometers every day for 56 days if I want to make it to Hajj,
Okay.
to Saudi Arabia. At the moment, I'm doing about, on the weekends I do like 80 to 100 kilometers on one day, and then I have like 3 days rest. But I'm also involved in training other people, so I don't get much time to train myself. And then you've got full-time job, and then you've got family. But now I've taken it a bit more seriously, so I'm putting in the work. But it's not just about cycling. I still have to go to the gym now. I've never been to a gym in my life, believe it or
Why
not.
do you go to the gym?
I have to build some more muscles. I've got the stamina, I've got the endurance, but I need to build some more muscles.
So it's no cardio in the gym. You're
Yeah.
just simply.
Building on, so once a week, and I've taken up boxing as well, to get my fitness up a little bit more, whatever I can, and then
I heard you got yourself a special trainer as well.
Yes, thanks to brother
Coach
Hanan,
H?
Coach H. Yeah.
I knew it.
He's training me on Fridays. Yes, so he's a very brilliant coach. Does some excellent training.
Well done, Coach H, and well done again. Big up to Brawlers Boxing, another wonderful community initiative. And you're playing a great part in Rashid's extra special journey towards achieving and completing the Hajj, his very first as well.
He's actually thinking of joining me. So he's training at the moment with me on the bike. So he trains me on a Friday, boxing, and then on Saturday, I train him on a bike.
Knowing Coach H, I would very much, if I was a betting man, I'd put money on him joining you. He's
got the fitness, he's got the stamina.
He's also a bit mad as well. So
he just needs to get used to sitting on the saddle.
Sitting on the saddle.
Being on that position.
Having said that, that is his biggest challenge, because he finds it very difficult sitting in one spot at the best of times. So that would be a challenge. So Rash, I think, again, another challenge to add to your many challenges once you're going for the Hajj is also keeping Coach H on the saddle. So that should be very, very interesting. Speaking about your families, as you just mentioned there, good news. Your wife gave birth to another baby child, a baby boy, last week. So you've got 4 daughters now and one son.
Yeah.
How does it feel again to be a father?
It's a great feeling. It's a feeling that I can't express, and it's all due to, I believe, my first visit to Umrah. This is where I cried to Allah to bless me with a son, and here he is today. So my whole life actually changed from that day, visiting the Holy Land. I had so much other things in life going on, everything just.
And how important are your family in terms of your physical pursuits? When you take part in, because not only do you work for Muslim charity that is doing amazing work in our communities.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, but you also actively participate in all the initiatives that I've seen you. So once you've organized, like when we went to Marrakesh to do the Marrakesh half marathon, you were there actively participating, running, training, doing training runs the night before, etc. How important is it, or how significant is it for you having your family there?
Yeah, it's very important. I thank my wife for being supportive, because if it wasn't for her, I won't be able to do this with 5 kids and a full-time job. And like you say, I'm sometimes in and out of the country and going there for attend a challenge or an event. And I like to take part in everything that I organise or want to do, because I feel that's part. It's not fair me just taking people and getting people to do things which I don't do. So so I owe a lot to my family, and they have to put up with me. Every time I now walk out the door, my little girls will be asking me, "Dad, are you coming back home tonight?"
Putting up with you, that's a good one. I'm wondering how we had to put up with you. So I've got a fair idea as well. But on that, I've got a serious question. And I've got an idea for you, Rash.
Okay.
How comes this lovely bike that you've got behind us with Ali, personalised bike there as well, why do you not change it a little bit, tweak it a little bit for this journey and name it after your wife? Or are you too macho to do that? Come on, on air now.
Oh, put me on the spot there. No, I mean, the bike, I didn't have to actually do much there. The name was already there, kind of. If you look carefully, you'll work it out.
But you know what I'm doing now? I'm planting the seed in your head now. As a tribute to Bubby,
Okay.
Bubby, Mrs. Rashid, I have got your back on this one. I think you should rename the bike
Okay,
in her honor.
Since I'm going to be taking 3 bikes, maybe I'll change one of the other
You
ones.
change one of them
the
as
other
well.
ones, okay.
That's a good compromise.
All right.
Anyway, Rash, so you've got a target of 60 days in total. That's your playing time.
That's the limit, yes.
That's your limit as
To
well.
make it Hajj,
But your aim is 56 days, I understand?
Yes, yes.
So roughly how many miles are you looking at per day?
150 kilometers a day.
150 kilometers a day. And what's a typical day like? Obviously, you cycle, you start in the morning, you have a breakfast at your hotel or wherever you're staying, and then?
A typical day would be like, so I would start 8 in the morning. I'd wake up, have breakfast, 8 in the morning, I leave. I'd do 30 kilometers and then have half an hour break, and then do another 30 kilometers, have another break, and then last leg of the journey, whatever's left, 50, 60 kilometers.
You
at the end.
zoom it at the end,
yeah.
and then you rest up in the.
Yeah.
And how do you recuperate at the end of a long day?
First of all,
I don't know. Do you go out and hit the town and go clubbing, or do you just fall
Every
asleep?
day
Or
it'll be straight. I'd love to go and explore the country, but it's not a holiday.
It's not, obviously.
It's not a holiday, and my first priority is number one, to look after myself.
Sure.
Because if anything, I start going out and I don't get enough sleep or don't eat properly, I'm going to jeopardize my journey.
So no more Hellraiser mode for you now.
No,
it's all slippers and a cup of cocoa and
straight into a cold bath or cold shower, and then straight into bed.
Straight into bed.
Have a meal and straight into bed. I'll get 1 day off every 7 days. So after cycling, eighth day, I'll have a.
You'd have a day off.
Yeah.
And in terms of your preparation again as well, how will you, should we say, deal with the different weather changes, climate?
Once I start from Europe, so I'll be hopefully starting from London. Once I kind of leave Europe and I start going into like Turkey and Egypt, and it's more hot there, I'm gonna start changing my time of cycling. So I might be cycling through the night instead of during the day.
Okay.
Or I might do early hours in the morning. I might do half the ride, have some sleep, and then late in the evening set off to do the other half.
So you will adapt your route and your timings as.
That's right.
That's important, isn't it? Because
it is. And then keeping yourself dehydrated is very important when you get to those, because some of them will be like desert. So I'll be going all kind of weathers, all kind of terrains and conditions. I'm going through 16 countries. So
16 countries. How do you make sure you're on track? Do you have GPS with you, or?
So I worked out all the routes already, and it's gone into what we have, like a Garmin, a device that we put on our bike handle. It's a bit like a TomTom you get in the car, sat nav. But this route we already worked out on a computer, like using Google Map, and then we load it up onto that. And then anyone else who comes with me or wants to know, they can use that same app and navigate them.
And it's pretty straightforward, just like
pretty straightforward.
sat nav navigation on a car as well.
That's right. So it'll tell you turn by turn. It'll bleep every time, so I don't have to stare at so it'll bleep before a turn comes up.
Okay.
So I know I've got a turning, and then it'll tell me 500 yards, keep going straight.
Okay.
And it'll also monitor all my elevations, because cycling, it's not going to be just about going on flat surfaces. I'm going to hit hills, mountains, and those are the tough rides, going up mountains and hills. I'd rather go 5 miles straight than go 1 mile up,
So Rash, knowing you, it's not just about the cycling and completing the Hajj as well, participating as well. There must be a good cause attached to this as well.
Definitely. I've just been to a tour in Bangladesh where one of the projects Muslim charity has is called Children of the World project, where they help children who live on the streets, who don't have parents. They're vulnerable children, and I saw it firsthand, some of these children, and I've previously done some of the events to raise money for this cause, but when I went out there and I saw, 500,000 children live in Dhaka train station, which is a bit like Victoria Station here, and there's a Shodorghat ferry port. In between those two places, there's 500,000 children. And when I had seen these children and seen the condition they live in and the sewage water they bath in, and some of the abuse they go through and torture in a way, I thought what I've been doing is a drop in the ocean. So I need to do something better. But this time I'm doing it for not just children in Bangladesh, it's going to be children from all over the world. So there's about 9 country Muslim charity working. So Lebanon, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Syrian children, refugees in refugee camps. So we're going to be helping all different children around the world. So it's not just going to be for one country. So that's my main motivation, and I've got children of my own. So when I have seen some of those children, I can see my child in that children. I couldn't imagine my child being, in that situation on their own, no help, living under a bridge, on the street, on the pavement,
And what's your fundraising target?
I hope to raise £100,000, and that will hopefully save quite a few thousand children if I can reach that target. So if all your viewers, if they can help fundraise or even the awareness, it's just not about the money, it's about the awareness as well. Not a lot of people know these things that are happening. Yes, we sometimes when we go to these holidays, we see poor people, but we don't really get to see how they live day to day, how they eat day to day, So yes, and that's my main motivation. I mean, if I was to do it, if someone said to me, just do it for fun, I don't think I would be able to do this. The only thing that gets me through these challenges at my age and without much training is the cause I do it for. I think that's my main motive. Sometimes I stick the picture of these kids on my handle when it gets too tough, and I just stare at them and I think, well, these guys are going through it all their life. You're just going through it a day, 2, or a week. And that motivates me to carry on what I do.
So if you are thinking of sponsoring Rash, we've provided the website details at the bottom of the page, and you can get in contact with the charity or executives there or volunteers or people who are manning the lines, and give them a call. If you are a rich business or a businessman or woman involved in local commerce, national commerce, international trade, you can also take the opportunity. This is a suggestion I'm making. Rash hasn't mentioned this to me, of sponsoring him. I.e., you can sponsor his kit, I don't know, his handlebar, his bike, give it a makeover for the journey as well, provided that you make a significant contribution towards his fund. Rashid he has set himself a target of £100,000, which I think the way our communities work is absolute peanuts. And if we can help him, like we said, this is going to be a very, very lonely journey. If he has Coach H joining him, all well and good. But apart from that, even with 2 people, it's a very, very lonely journey. But we can be with them. And I think he just made a very, very important point of mentioning that when he's feeling down in the dumps and when, the muscles are aching and you're running out of, energy and the battery's running low, and he thinks about the children, or he puts a little picture up in front of him, and it makes it all worthwhile for him as well. If we put it ourselves into Rash's shoes, and we think, a lot of us may have children, nephews, nieces, relatives, even neighbors who may be in need of help in some of the countries that is mentioned there as well. And the best way to do it is, if we're not physically going out there and providing them with support, is to support and sponsor someone like Rash. So we hope you do I honestly do hope that you get a huge response from this as well. I like your top. Is this a personalised top? Are you going to have Mrs. Ali on the other side when you run?
No.
See, I've got her back today. Mr. Bobby, if you're watching, I have got your back today as well. And I'm really, really going to press him that he actually, Bollywood style, puts your name on the other side. And actually not Bollywood style, but he'll be more like Derek Trotter, should we say, only fools and horses. So I think you should just match it up and put Bobby's name on the other side.
The thing is, since I'm doing it for the children come first. So the idea is, the businessmen out there, if they sponsor me and put their names on there, they get first priority. So if Mr. Rashid puts 10 grand down, I can put a name on there, not a problem.
I take it back then. I agree with your whole, very, very wise response. In that case, anybody who...
Well, I must say, I like your top though. It matches my bike. So
it does. Did you see the crest on my chest?
No.
And have you seen the...
I've seen the crest, that's what I'm saying. It matches my bike.
On the back there as well.
Oh, right, okay.
It is intentional, me bringing this in. This is me talking to an Arsenal fan as well. So what we can agree on is, and I'm forcing this issue on you, that Bobby's name remains over your heart on the left-hand side. But if any rich businessman, Kamali, if you're watching, wants to sponsor you,
yes,
and or if any organization wants to sponsor you, they're more than welcome to pay that money to have you on there as well.
Yes.
And are you going to have a send-off party or
Yes,
before you go, or
the plan is that we're talking to the town hall, city hall. We want to start from there. Maybe the mayor can send us off, and I'll also have a big team going with me. So if there's anybody that's out there and wants to join the ride, and not the whole ride, maybe London to Paris.
sure?
So they can do London so there's about 5-6 already people who's going to join me at the beginning from London to Paris. So we're going to go from London to New Haven, cross on the ferry, and then stay at Derby for a night, and the next day we set off to Paris, and then they come back by the Eurotunnel and I continue on. There's other people coming into Turkey, flying into Turkey when I'm in Turkey, and joining me to do the last leg of the journey. So there'll be people coming and doing bits and pieces. Whilst
amazing.
I know some of those countries like Bosnia, there'll be a few people in Bosnia who will be doing some events for me, a welcome reception, and there might be a few people riding a few hundred miles.
I'm trying to imagine you, say, riding into Bosnia. Let's say that, for example, and they got all these flower petals being chucked on you, and rose necklaces being put around you, and you might get adopted to stay in one of the countries. Now, going back to your Hajj journey as well, actually performing the Hajj is also a huge challenge for a lot of people, and this is your very first one.
Yes.
You've done Umrah, which will give you some preparation
Yes.
for what's to come, but it does not prepare you in the slightest, should we say. It gives you an indication and taste of the locations, the holy sites and everything. So how's your preparation for the Hajj itself coming along? That must be quite challenging as well.
That is, and finding the time is the main challenge as well now. So my backup plan is I'm doing what I can at the moment, studying as much as I can on the subject. But I've also got my other plan. Don't forget, I've got 2 months sitting on that saddle doing nothing apart from pedaling. So the brain has a lot of time. So I've got a little speaker system
Yeah.
and it has a SD card where I've loaded all the information about how to perform Hajj, etc., to learn all the prayers and everything. Now, so I'll be playing that for 2 months and listening to that for 2 months and studying whilst I'm pedaling. That's another idea.
That's actually a good one as well. And I'm hoping for any of the Saudi Arabian authorities who may be watching this, you're obviously going to get tagged into tweets and on social media when we do share this interview, where we are sharing this interview. And we're hoping the governors in Makkah and Medina and the authorities over there, you should actually take some time out to welcome this very real hero of ours. He's undertaken. This is not a unique journey. Other people have walked it there. Other people, I know somebody who attempted once to get there by wheelchair as well, but it is very, very rare. And on these shores, especially a Londoner doing this, is a European, should we say, doing this is extra special as well. It hasn't been done many times before, if that at all. So we hope that you receive a lot of good hospitality over there as well, because it's important. Once again, the most important thing that you've mentioned here is the fact that you are raising money for a huge cause, and it's the children.
Yeah.
So tell us through again how this money will be used.
So, one of the things I'd just like to add there in that is that your viewers can get, if they can't get involved in physically, they can actually text me a dua. I'll be launching a phone number. They can contact me via Muslim Charity at the moment, and where they can text me a dua and make a donation of £50, and I will take those duas when I get to Arafat, and I'll read them at Arafat, all those days. So that's an initiative some of the people can take, and all that money that will be raised will go directly to those children via Muslim Charity. So they'll be helping children with education, home, food, shelter, and just giving them a life, a dignified life, a safety, because some of the children in some of these countries I've mentioned, they get used in various ways. Each country has a different problem with children. Some get into cheap labour work, some get put into drugs, some into other selling their bodies, some even getting put into having babies and then selling their babies at age 14, 15. I've met some kids. So Yeah, so it'll be saving a lot of children out there, so yes, it's mostly for the children. So, and I'll also be doing a lot of publicity, coming around all the towns in England. I'll be going visiting Birmingham, Manchester, to highlight the cause I'm doing it for, and some of the stuff Muslim charity is doing out in these countries, and promote in my ride. So please, if you do come and if you do see me passing by, come and say hello, and give me a good few words of encouragement, because I need a lot of that.
And lastly, are you taking? You've already mentioned you're taking a number of bikes with you, as well. Why do you need several bikes?
Yeah, so I'll have a support vehicle following me. The support vehicle will be following with spare bikes. Reason being, because I'm going to go into different kind of. Sometimes it might be tarmac, sometimes it might be muddy roads, sometimes it might be rocky. So I need mountain bike, road bike. This particular bike I've got behind me is my favorite one, which is a road bike, but it's not very comfortable because, as you can see, the tires are very thin. So to ride on that 10 hours every day for 56 days is very uncomfortable. So I need tires with bigger, thicker tires. So ideally, probably a mountain bike or touring bike. So I'll have all the bikes depending on where I am and what kind of condition I'm facing. I'll swap bikes. But majority of the first bit, Europe, it'd probably be this one because the roads are quite nice and smooth. But once you leave Europe, the roads are not so smooth.
So the terrain is much harder.
Much harder
to navigate. So you need to.
Yes, I mean, especially, I mean, I don't want to be using motorway too much either because it's not too safe. So I might have to go off road a little bit. So when I go off road, I'll need the mountain bike once I start going off road. But as long as I'm on the road, it'll be two bikes like this one.
Rashid Ali, we wish you the very best of luck with your journey, and we pray that it's going to be a very fruitful one as well. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you for having me here, and keep an eye out, guys, and make all the prayers you can for me. Do contact us at Muslim Charity.
And that's it from us for this week. Thanks for watching The Sports Show.